Welcome. Today we're going to look at factorizing a quadratic expression. And this is just the introduction to kind of point you in the right direction. So, factorizing a quadratic is the reverse process to expanding a double bracket. So, a quadratic expression has to come in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And that's where just a, b, and c are any kind of number. Uh, but we're going to look at the special case with factorizing quadratics for a bit, where it's just x squared plus bx plus c. It gets a lot more difficult when we have an a term as some kind of number, not just one. So, case one, if the second sign of the expression is a positive. So first off, you look at your quadratic expression and look for that sign. So in both these on the left and right, they're both positive in our second. Then both signs in the bracket, so if we look on our left side, both signs in our bracket are going to match the first sign in our expression. So this first sign is there in both of our expressions. So that's why in the brackets in our first kind of number one over here, as I'll call it, they're both positive. It's because that first sign is positive. And then in our second one, they're both negative because that sign's both negative in our number two. The last little part has to do with our factor pairs and when we're actually trying to find what numbers go inside of our brackets. And so they'll add to find our middle term. We'll come back to that when we actually start working through some examples and it'll make a lot more sense. So case two, well, if they're both pluses in the middle and both minuses in the middle, well, case two has to do with if they're different signs. So if the second sign in the expression is a negative, so notice how up here we had our second expression. They were both positive, right? Now we're going to look down what happens if it's a negative, right? So if it is a negative, then the signs in the brackets will be different. Okay, so one positive, one negative. And we know it doesn't matter the way they multiply because positive 3, right? Positive 3 times by negative 2 equals negative 6. So does negative 2, or sorry, negative 3 times by positive 2. That's still going to be negative 6. Right. So what else is it? What else does our little rule say? So the brackets will be different, or the signs will be different, and we will subtract to find our middle term. So where we added up top, we subtract with this method. So once we start working with the examples, it'll make a lot more sense, and I'll see you in those videos.